No, we're not packing up to leave. I'm just trying to save some energy. And I'm going to tell you how we do that starting right now. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Patrick, and we have been RVing now for over 20 years. In February of 2025, my wife and I sold our house, moved into our fifth wheel, retired from our 25-plus year teaching careers, and now I run Happy Acres Campground in Angola, Indiana. We're a seasonal park, which means we're closed in the winter, and that's why today I am here at the lovely Canopy RV Resort in New Braunfels, Texas. And as you can see, we have blue skies, lots of sun, and I want to take advantage of that. Now, we pay a monthly rate for our site here at Canopy RV Resort, and we also pay for the electric that we use. And that's why I shut our power off, because we're going to run off of the sun today. And I wanted to take you through our entire system to show you how we are able to do that. Now, not only can we use it for saving on our electric bill, it allows us to stop at places like Harvest Toast and Cracker Barrels for overnight stays and still be able to run our entire RV. I want to first off thank Myron from, most of you remember, Landstar RV, but he has rebranded his business as Off Map. Now, Myron has been doing all of our service work for the last 3 years on our RVs. If you're in need of warranty work, upgrades, or repairs, and you can get to Northeast Indiana, I'm going to leave Myron's contact information, because he does great work, and he did our entire setup. In fact, he's done it on the last 3 RVs we've owned, and I just want to show you what he did for us, and maybe he can customize a system for you for whatever your needs are. Now, whether you want to be able to use your RV without electricity, or you want to save energy when you're camping and not plugged in, most people assume it starts on the roof with solar, and solar is a component of that, but it's not really the most important part of running your RV. That actually starts in our front storage compartment. Think of it this way. It's like when you go to the gas station, you buy fuel, but the fuel powers the engine. Well, what is the engine in this case? Let me show you. These are really the engine in our electrical system, and that is our batteries. Now, we are running 2 300 amp hour Epoch batteries. We've been running these now for about 1.5 years and absolutely love them. It gives us a total of 600 amp hours. Now, think of it like your engine on your tow vehicle. The bigger the engine, the more it can pull. The more amp hours you have, the more you can run and the longer you can run. Before we even talk about anything else, you have to start with the system of batteries, because the batteries become the power when you're not plugged in. Now, even when you're plugged in, there's going to be certain things in your RV that are going to run off of your batteries. It's your 12-volt system. In most RVs, your 12-volt system is going to run things like your lights, your slide outs, your fans, and in a lot of RVs today, your refrigerator. So all RVs are going to need battery power because there's a 12-volt system on board. Other things in your RV need actual electricity to run them. Things like your air conditioners, for instance, your television, and anything you're plugging into an outlet. When you unplug, most of the time, the only thing you're going to be able to run off of your batteries are those things that are in the 12-volt system. What we wanted to do was create a system where we could run anything on our RV off of these batteries. We're going to get to that. I just wanted to make the point, though, that you have to have batteries because that becomes the power. So what are the solar panels? The solar panels, which are typically located on the roof of your RV, they're like that fuel you're putting into the engine of your car or your truck. That's what's going to fill up those batteries and keep it running. Now, our RV came with one 400-watt solar panel. Is that enough to keep 600 amp hours charged all day long? Probably not. And originally my plan was to have Myron do another 400-watt solar panel on the top. But as we were installing our system this summer, I decided to not add a second solar panel, at least for the time being. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. So we have our batteries right here that are helping to power our RV, and we have a solar panel on top that is capturing that sun and sending it to our batteries. But before we go to the batteries, we have to have a solar charge controller. And what that basically does, in my understanding, and I'm no expert on this, but it is going to convert the sun's power into power to charge up these batteries. So we've got power going out, we have power coming in. The more solar you have and the sunnier the day and the angle and all kinds of things like that, the more you're going to be able to put back in. In a very basic system, you need a solar panel, you need a charge controller, and you need batteries. But you'll notice our system is a lot more extensive, and that's because I wanted to create a system where we could run our entire RV off of these batteries. And in order to do that, we needed this device right over here. It's a Victron Multi-Plus 2 3000 watt inverter. Our entire RV is plugged into this, so when the power goes out, this kicks on, and what it does is it will actually allow us to use everything in our RV, our air conditioners, our wall plugs. It will run as long as there's enough power in these batteries. And that's why having enough batteries is important in running your entire system. No, we're not going to be able to run all 3 ACs for a long period of time, but we can run ACs for short periods of time and still be okay with our batteries. Now, what Myron does when he lays out these systems is he goes ahead and really does it in a way that is neat and clean. You'll see everything is really in here nicely. Now, I don't understand everything that he's done, but here's what I can tell you what some of this stuff is. Right up here in this corner, that is like a distribution panel. So everything that's wired into the system goes to that one panel, and that way we don't have to have tons of things wired up to these batteries. Batteries go up there, things are wired into it. He has shutoffs that are put into place. We can shut off all of the power. We can shut off the solar only. He's really designed this to keep it simple to use. Now, I mentioned earlier that we did not add additional solar, and the 400 watts we have on top is not enough to fully charge up our batteries. The reason we haven't added more solar yet was I honestly hadn't really planned on doing what we're doing this winter here in Texas by supplementing our power needs with the onboard batteries and solar. We primarily, when we travel, we will stop at a Cracker Barrel overnight, or we'll stay at a Harvest Host. So it's like a 1, maybe 2 nights out. The other thing is with solar, it only works if you have blue skies and sunshine out. So on those cloudy days, you're not getting much. So that was when I got the idea, thanks to my friend Jonathan over at Tree Talker the Traveler, that based upon the way we use our RV, it might make more sense to install a DC to DC charger. This little box right here is our DC to DC charger. Now what this does is it has nothing to do with solar, it has everything to do with your tow vehicle. So it is able to take power from your vehicle while you're traveling, convert it, and charge your batteries anytime you're hauling with your vehicle. When we're sitting still right now, this is doing absolutely nothing in terms of our batteries. But on travel days, when we have those long travel days, we can actually keep our batteries topped off regardless of how much we used them the night before. And we don't have to rely on the solar. So if you don't see yourself camping off grid more than a night or two while you're traveling like us, then instead of going solar, you may want to consider a DC to DC charger. And what that requires is the installation of this device hooked up to your batteries, and then a cable that you plug into that goes up to your tow vehicle. And that's how that works. In this system, we have our batteries, our solar, we have our distribution panel, our shutoffs, we have our charge controller for the solar, we have our inverter, so when we are not plugged in, we can run anything on board. This also doubles as our battery charger when we are plugged in. And then we have that DC to DC charger for when we're traveling so we can keep our batteries topped off. I can tell you in the traveling that we've done since installing this, every time we pulled into a place after a long drive, we were 100% full, and I'm glad we invested in the DC to DC charger. This particular device that's installed up here, this is a servo. And what that is it's kind of like the brain hub of all of this. and it will track everything that's going on. We actually have a display panel inside our RV where I can see everything that's happening with our system. This display screen right here, when you enter our trailer, this is that servo display screen. And on here, it will show us everything that's happening with our system. You can see number one, it says right here, we are inverting. We're currently getting 98 watts of solar, and our batteries are at 99%. And we can see that it looks like on the AC side, we're using 125 watts, and on the DC side, we're using 86 watts. So again, this gives me a lot of information. Ever since we've turned off the RV electrical system and we're running off our batteries, we really haven't used much. In fact, we're doing pretty good getting 98 watts, and it's actually only 10:20 in the morning here in Texas, which means that sun's going to get higher and brighter as the day goes, and it's going to be able to put in more. Now, a 400 watt solar panel doesn't mean you're going to get 400 watts. In fact, I look for about 80% efficiency in perfect conditions, which means I'm hoping we can get up around 300 to 320 watts on a perfect sunny day. Now, we didn't have to install this fancy servo system because with the Victron equipment, you can actually log in through your smartphone with their app and monitor what's going on with each device. So for instance, I can go into my phone and I can look at what's the charge controller for the solar reading. I can look at what is that big inverter doing through its app. So each component has its own app that you can do it. The servo system just allows us to tie it all together, and when we're on Wi-Fi, I've actually given Myron the link to our servo, so if we do have issues on the road, he can log in. As long as this is connected to the Wi-Fi, then he can log in from wherever he's at, and he can go in and see if there's a setting issue or whatever's going on. So that's why we decided to go ahead and add the servo, because honestly, it's a nice piece of technology to have to just be able to monitor what's going on with the system. Now, let me explain the use that we're currently seeing. Right now here in the RV, the only things we have on are the refrigerator, which is an ongoing process. Now, I don't hear the compressor running, so it may not be pulling. We have our TV on and our sound bar, and we have our Max Air fan going. We have a few lights on, and honestly, that's about it. But I want you to see what happens on the display screen when we turn on something big like an AC. So you can see currently we're pulling 124 watts. Again, that's just from small items like the TV, the sound bar. Let's see what happens when we flip one of our Furrion chill cubes on. Now, I will say these chill cubes are so energy efficient that they do not pull like the old Coleman Mach that we used to have. So we went ahead, we flipped it on, and let's see what happens. You can see we're starting to see an increase. Now, it's currently pretty cool outside here in Texas, so it's probably not going to need to work that hard, but you can see how in real time the watts that are being pulled are going up. Now let's do another demonstration that I think will really show you what it does. We're going to turn on our electric fireplace because that will really crank out some energy. And Patty, my wife, is turning it on right now, sitting at 130 watts. Look at that. So the electric fireplace can really draw a lot of watts. And so you can see we're up to 869 watts or more through the AC load. But yet our solar over here is only pulling in 100 watts. So you could see how quickly using something like an electric heater could really drain your batteries quickly. And that's why we go back to the important part of the system is really your battery bank. The bigger your battery bank, and I'm not talking in terms of the number of batteries, I'm talking in terms of the amp hours that you have. The more amp hours you can draw off of, the more you can use, even if you're not putting in watt for watt or amp for amp with your solar system or whatever. So it always, to me, starts with, do you have the appropriate amount of batteries to run whatever it is you want to run? And then from there, we'll build the system around it. Now, going forward, we're probably going to have Myron this coming summer install another solar panel on top to give us more ability to keep these batteries charged on these sunny days. Now that we're doing this little exercise of shutting the power off during the day and saving on our electric bill. But ultimately, your setup depends on how you RV, how you're going to use your RV, and what's right for you. For weekend travelers that just go to a local campground, you honestly probably don't need solar or any inverters or anything like that. But if you're taking longer trips, you're spending the night at Harvest Toast or Cracker Barrels, then it might make sense to have a system of some sort. For us, we decided to try out the DC to DC charger, which I'm really glad we did, because on those long travel days, it tops our batteries off perfect, and I don't have to worry about whether we're getting sun or not. But when we're sitting all winter and we're paying for our electric, all of a sudden that solar becomes very valuable. Now, if you're interested in finding out what might be right for you, I'm going to leave Myron's contact information in the description of this video. You can reach out to him, and what he can do is find out what your needs are and build a system that would be right for your needs if you think you need something. All right, well, again, thank you, Myron, for building us the perfect system. And thank you to all of you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I hope it's helpful, maybe explains a little bit more how your system works. And until next time, everybody, we'll see you on down the road.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.